This is video 10 in a 15-part series on Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. And today we're diving into Chapter 10, Power of the Mastermind. When we talk about wealth and prosperity, most people think of money, investments, or hard work. But Napoleon Hill points us to something deeper, something that goes beyond individual effort. He calls it the mastermind principle, the power that emerges when two or more minds come together, united by harmony and a definite purpose. And if you are over 40, you know from life experience that going alone, stubbornly trying to solve every challenge in isolation, often leads to exhaustion, frustration, and stagnation. Real prosperity in the mature years requires collaboration, wisdom, and the courage to connect with others who can multiply your vision. Think about it this way. Your brain is like a battery. A single battery can produce energy, but when connected with others, the output multiplies. The same is true for human intelligence and creativity. When you align your thoughts, energy, and purpose with others who share your vision, a new kind of power is born, almost invisible, but incredibly strong. A power that can open doors, solve problems, and accelerate your path to success in ways you could never accomplish alone. This is not just theory. History gives us countless examples. Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men in American history, openly admitted that his fortune was the result of surrounding himself with dozens of sharp, talented minds who complemented his own abilities. He didn't pretend to know everything. Instead, he mastered the art of creating a mastermind alliance, where knowledge, imagination, and effort were pooled together toward a common goal. And if a man like Carnegie, who started with very little, could build a fortune through this principle, why wouldn't the same law apply to you and me? Now here's why this matters even more after 40. By this stage of life, you've accumulated experience, skills, and lessons, but you may also feel the weight of responsibilities, debts, or setbacks. Many people hit a wall and begin to think that their best years are behind them. But the mastermind principle reminds us that your network, your alliances, and your ability to cooperate with others can breathe new life into your goals. You don't need to carry everything on your shoulders. Instead, you can multiply your strength by joining forces with others who bring what you lack. Imagine you're building a business, but marketing is not your strength. You might feel stuck, thinking you have no chance to compete. But if you align with someone whose natural gift is communication, suddenly your product, your idea, or your service has a voice. Or maybe you're excellent with strategy, but weak in execution. By joining with someone who thrives on practical details, your vision can finally come alive. That is the mastermind at work, a blending of talents, experiences, and energies into something far greater than the sum of its parts. This principle isn't just about business, it's about every area of prosperity. In your financial life, a mastermind might mean connecting with mentors who guide you toward smarter investments. In your career, it might mean joining a group of peers who hold you accountable, share opportunities, and push you beyond your comfort zone. In your personal growth, it could mean surrounding yourself with people who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. The truth is, prosperity doesn't happen in isolation. Wealth, freedom, and peace of mind are built in the context of relationships, of partnerships, of collective vision. Napoleon Hill also makes it clear, harmony is essential. A mastermind cannot function if the people involved are pulling in different directions, clashing egos, or competing for dominance. The power comes when there is respect, trust, and a shared sense of purpose. If you've ever been part of a toxic team, you know how draining it can be. But if you've ever been part of a group where everyone was committed, supportive, and aligned, you also know the feeling of energy and momentum that seems almost unstoppable. That's the difference harmony makes. Let's take this to a practical level. If you are over 40 and searching for prosperity, one of the smartest moves you can make is to intentionally build your mastermind alliance. Look for people whose strengths complement your weaknesses, whose vision aligns with your values, and whose energy inspires you. Don't just rely on casual friendships. Create intentional partnerships where ideas can be shared, refined, and transformed into action. This doesn't mean you have to form a massive organization. Even one or two powerful connections can change everything. But here's the key. You must bring something valuable to the table as well. A mastermind is not about using others. It's about contribution and exchange. You offer your skills, your loyalty, your determination, and in return, you receive the gifts of others. Together, you create an energy that none of you could produce alone. Think about leaders like Thomas Edison, who brought together scientists and inventors to create breakthroughs that shaped the modern world. Or Henry Ford, who built alliances with thinkers and doers that transformed an entire industry. Or even Mahatma Gandhi, who, without wealth or armies, mobilized millions of people through the power of shared purpose. Each of these individuals understood that greatness is never a solo act. It is always a symphony of minds in harmony. And let's bring it closer to you. Imagine you're facing financial challenges, debt, lack of savings, uncertainty about the future. Alone, those challenges can feel overwhelming, but with a mastermind, you gain fresh perspectives, encouragement, and strategies you might never have thought of. Someone might guide you to restructure your budget, another might introduce you to an opportunity, and another might simply remind you of your own resilience when you feel like giving up. Slowly, momentum builds, and what once looked impossible begins to take shape as a real possibility. The beauty of this principle is that it doesn't just solve problems, it builds character. By working with others in harmony, you develop patience, empathy, communication, and leadership. You learn to listen, to give, and to receive. And in doing so, you not only create wealth, but also a richer life in every sense. Prosperity is not only about money in the bank, it's about energy, relationships, peace of mind, and purpose. The mastermind amplifies all of these dimensions. Now let's pause for a moment. Ask yourself, who are the people in your mastermind? Who challenges you to grow? Who supports your dreams? Who shares their wisdom, their skills, and their energy with you? And on the other side, who do you encourage, support, and uplift? If the answer is no one, then this is your call to action. Your prosperity will expand only to the extent that you expand your alliances. The mastermind principle is universal. It works in business, in careers, in families, and in communities. And for those of us beyond 40, it is not just a tool for success. It is a lifeline. It's the reminder that we are not meant to walk alone, that our greatest strength is found in unity, and that prosperity becomes inevitable when we learn to connect, to harmonize, and to create together. And let me expand this with something practical for this phase of life. Many people after 40 feel reluctant to build new connections. They think it's too late to start fresh, or they carry the scars of broken partnerships and failed collaborations. But this is precisely the time to break that cycle. Imagine the growth that could unfold if you dedicated the next 5 or 10 years to cultivating the right alliances. By the time you are 50 or 60, you could be enjoying not only financial stability, but also the confidence that comes from being part of a powerful network of like-minded individuals. Think about your financial goals. Do you want to pay off debt? Do you want to secure a retirement plan? Do you want to start a small business or expand the one you already have? Alone, these goals may look overwhelming, but with a mastermind, they become structured, guided, and achievable. The right alliance can provide accountability when motivation fades. It can provide solutions when your own knowledge hits a wall, and it can provide encouragement when life throws its inevitable challenges. In fact, if you reflect on your past achievements, you'll probably realize that even your greatest successes were never entirely yours alone. There were always teachers, mentors, colleagues, friends, or family members who contributed in ways you may not have fully acknowledged at the time. The mastermind principle is simply the conscious recognition and intentional cultivation of this truth. So, As you reflect on Chapter 10, don't just think about the theory. Think about who you need to call, who you need to meet, and who you need to align with. Think about how you can bring your experience, your resilience, and your determination into a group of like-minded people. Think about how, together, you can turn ideas into action, dreams into plans, and challenges into victories. That is the real power of the mastermind. If you believe you deserve more in your financial life, the link below in the first comment is for you. So did you like this video? Then help us out. Like, comment, share, and turn on the bell after subscribing to the channel.